Okay, now on this one, we're gonna check to see if two if 3 points are collinear. So collinear means that they are on the same line, right? So they would all be equal to each other. Not equal to each other. If I add up the distances, they're equal to each other. To the distance from the last one to the third one. So I'm clearing some stuff out on Desmo. So I'll be hold on. All right. So I'm gonna what I'm trying to do here is I'm gonna try to show you. I'm doing this, trying to do it together at the same time so that we can see everything hopefully here, but I'm not too sure we're gonna do that. Okay, maybe I'll just switch over right now to Desmos. All right, so anyways, let me set it up and then we can go to Desmos and figure that part out, calculate all this on there. So um, it would help to kind of draw these out because I need to know which one, in order from left to right, where they're at, right? So the point, -8, 10, -8, -10, somewhere way over here. -8, comma, -10. Then I've got -5, -4, right, somewhere in here. And again, just drawing them out, you can't tell. They do it. The numbers that they choose are kind of like so that you're like not really too sure. And then -14. Whoa, that one goes way over here. -14, 13. So let's say I'm right over here somewhere. Negative. So I'm not too sure if they're on a straight line or not. Could be, could not be. I can't tell here, right? So what I need to do is figure out the distance from. I'm gonna call this A to B. Then I'm gonna figure out the distance from B to C, right? And then I'm gonna figure out the distance from A all the way to C, kind of like we did on the triangle one, right? So we got to find 3 distances, right? This distance here first, 1. This distance here, 2, and then this distance all the way back to the first one, right? So you're doing this 3 times, right? So the distance formula again deals with square roots, and I'm going to set them up, but then I'll just move over to Desmos and figure them out there, okay? So on this one, x1 or x2 minus x1, so -8 minus -5 squared plus -10 minus -4 squared. So that's setting up the first one, right? Now the second one is from from C to B. So -14 minus -8 plus, so we need to worry about setting this up correctly. -13 minus -10 squared. So that's the first two. Now these first 2 distances need to add up to the third one. And that's what we're going to use Desmos for. And if it doesn't add up, then it's not collinear. So from the third one to here, so let's say -5 minus -14. And then -4 minus -13. Okay, so I'm going to go switch over to Desmos. Okay, now I'm going to type them in here. All right, so the first one was the square root of, and I'm going to put 2 sets of parentheses in here. So the first one was -8 minus 5, -8 minus -5, and then, see, it's telling me undefined because that once I square it, it won't be undefined. And then plus -8 minus -5, -4, sorry, -10, -10 minus -4, and then also squared. All right. So that's the first distance. And again, the beauty of using decimals is I don't care if it's a decimal or not. The calculator, this thing will take care of all that stuff for me. I just need to make sure I type it in, set it up correctly. And then the next one's -14. -14 minus -8. Oops. See, speaking of typing in correctly. Again, -14 minus -8. The minus is the same thing as the negative on here. So just type it in twice. Plus, and then -13. -13 minus -10. Ugh. Can I put it in here? So -13 minus -10. And then that is squared. So that needs to equal to, again, square root, parentheses, -5 minus -14, -5 minus -14 squared, plus -4 minus -13. -4 minus -13, and then squared. Oops, that 2 is way out there. It's not supposed to be there. It's supposed to be in here. So be careful. Okay, so does it look like they're equal? So I'm going to take this one. Again, it doesn't let me do right click, so I'm going to Control C and then Control V. Plus, go back to this one, Control C, Control V. And is it equal? No, it's not equal to it. So, and if I were to maybe just use these numbers here, I think these you can copy, or at least it lets me copy and paste here. Or it doesn't let me paste, but it lets me copy. Command, Control V, and then this one, same thing. Control V. So yeah, it's way too much. It's not equal to the 12 point, right? So are these then collinear? So that was the question. Are these on a straight line? So the answer is no, right? These are not on a straight line, because if they were on a straight line, then these two numbers, this one, this distance between B and C plus A and B, that distance would be equal to the whole thing, right? But in this case, they're off a little bit. So it's like this and then a little bit up higher, so that this distance from the first one all the way to the third one is a little bit longer than from the first to the second and then the second to the third. So it has to be equal to. So the answer here would be no. It is not collinear.